Hello everyone. So in the previous videos, welcome to this Python full course. And in the previous videos, we covered introduction to Python. Then we getting started with Python. Then we covered list, dictionaries, numbers, strings. These are the object types we covered. And now we will cover further tuples and other object types like files and other object types. So before we start, please subscribe to the channel and hit the bell notification to get the updated videos notification to you. Like we are covering Python full course, so you will get the notification for the latest videos of upcoming Python lectures, and you'll be able to catch up with this course and master Python easily. So please subscribe to the channel and hit the bell notification. Also, if you have any doubts, come use the comment section. I'll respond to your doubts, and hit the like so that many people can reach out to this course. So let's start. So this is Google Colab. It makes it really easy to get started with Python. Just write Google Colab in Google and log in through your Gmail account. You'll get this page, and then you just open a new notebook. For my case, I'll open this is a new notebook only. You can open the new notebook. So it's loading. So today we'll be covering object types, that is tuple, files, and other object types. So first we'll import libraries. So we'll import libraries. For now we are only importing numpy and pandas. So we'll import pandas as pd, import numpy as np. So these are nothing but modules. It is a bunch of code already written. So you don't have to write all the codes written in pandas. You just directly import those code as libraries. So these are nothing but modules. And also numpy and pandas are mainly for numerical analysis. So just import pandas and numpy library and use the shortcut alt plus enter to run this cell and get to the new cell. So we have no errors. Now we'll be doing object types, tuples, files, and everything else like other object types that we have. So in the previous videos we covered string, numbers, list, dictionaries. Now tuple, files, and everything else in object types. So first we'll be covering tuples. So tuples are nothing but a simple group of objects. You can take it that way. The history of tuples is that the people who have developed Python are basically mathematicians. So when so list in Python is nothing but an array. So if you have a 2D array and you go to one row of that array, that is nothing but a tuple. So basically these are mathematicians who developed Python. So when they call for an array, a 2D array, they wanted to access a particular row of that array. So they accessed a row of an array and they call it a tuple. So tuple is an object type. It is so for a simplicity sake, you can just consider it as a group of objects. Now we'll take a look at some of the operations in tuple. So some of the ways in initializing a tuple is, let's say a tuple is t1. So just use normal brackets. So we are initializing a tuple. So np is for pandas. We can use some fi and 1 point. And this is a 4-item tuple. So we have initialized a tuple. So we can also initialize it t1 so as without brackets also. So this is same as prior line. So you can write the above code as this also. So we have no errors. Next, you can also initialize a tuple, like we'll initialize another tuple e2 by writing tuple, then we can write people in commas. So this is iterable, like p, e, o, these are different values in tuple. So you can see by hitting alt plus enter, we have initialized two tuples t1 and t2. Then we can also check the length of a tuple. Like if we check the length using len function, so it is not showing. So the code is running. It is not showing as 1 but 6 because p, e, o, p, l, e are other different values. Then we can also concatenate these two tuples, like we can add them. So it is giving us OFI, which is elements of T1 and then T2. So we have concatenated these two. Then we can also repeat these by, you can write T1 multiply by 3. So it has repeated 3 times. Then we haven't gone through iterations, but we can use a simple iteration here. Let me scroll up a little bit for you to see clearly. So in this we can write for x in T1 print x. So if while using print function, it is pretty much a lot of user friendly. So if we want to find out a particular index of a particular element in T1, we can write T1 dot index, then for which element value we need to find that index. So let's find it for fi. So it has index 1 because in Python indexing start from 0. So first element would be 0, then second would be 1, 2 and similarly. So fi is 1. Then if we want to count it, so if we count from the start ni, it is giving us ni has, there is no element as ni, so it is showing 0. If we want to count, so it is 1. Like if there are multiple, like if, then it would be this way. There is only one element, one value fi in T1. So these are basically the operations of tuples. Then there is another, next we move to our object type files. So files are basically an object type. That means like you are interacting with files. There are different kind of files, like there is a text file, there is a CSV file, there is an XLSX file, or there is an XLS file. All these files are of different format, and you are basically interacting with them. You are uploading a file, or you are downloading a file, or you are saving it in a format. So all these when you are interacting with file, this is an object type, and you can open a file, or you can write something in that file, or you can interact with once you upload the file, you can perform suppose it is in a CSV file, then you can print the data, or you can analyze those data, perform different action, plot graphs. So while doing all these operations, basically you are interacting with files, and so file is an object type in Python, and you can just write a file or you can read a file. All these operations you can perform in Python using files, and let's go by some of the operations so that you can, then you'll be these are some of the basic operations, and then you will be able to understand more clearly. So let's first open a file. Let's write my file equal to open. We write my file dot text file we are opening, and we'll write w. So this open for text output, because it is a txt file, it is open for text output, and we are simply creating an empty file. So right now the file is empty. Let's run this cell. So now we have created a text output file which is empty right now. Now we want to write something in this file. For that we'll write the name of the file, my file dot write, and if we write hello text file, and we just get a new line for this, and we are writing string in a text file. So it displays number of characters that are there in the text file. And let's write something else also. If I write my file dot write, and I'll write this is the second line, then we'll move to new line. So it has 24 letters. Now let me scroll up. Now I'll close this file, my file dot close. So what this operation does is this flush output buffers to disk. This flush output buffers to disk. This is for your extra knowledge, you can say somewhat like that. So now we'll close this file. Now if I open my file, it is written. Something is written in this file. Let's open my file. Now my file open. So we'll write file name here. Dot the format, it is in text. And I can write similarly R here, or if I don't write R, okay. So we are here opening text file, and if I don't write R here, R is default. So either I can write R, or if I want to write W, I need to write W, because W is for writing. But if I don't write anything, it is by default R, or I can write R also. So let's open this file. Now this file is open. Now I want to read a line. Let's write my file dot read line. So it reads first line of the write. First line of the file, if I write this again, my file dot read line, it prints me second line of the write, like this is the second line. If I write again my file dot read line, then it prints me like nothing, like these are the only lines written in this file. So these are like one by one we are reading lines, like, so if there are a lot of lines it would be difficult to read line again and again. So what we can do is we can print all the lines single time. So this is like you have this is what this phenomena known as, like, we are finding it difficult, like for reading each line I need to write read line, then again print my file dot read line, then again. So if there are a lot of lines, so we'll use a code that prints the all the lines on a single time. This is like optimizing code. Like once you write the code, you need to optimize it. So this is like somehow you are learning how to optimize the code, because there are a lot of lines now, and I need to use read line function every time to read a single line. So what I can do is, like, if there are 100 lines and I want to print only a single time, I can just write a line of code that prints 100 lines. I don't need to write 100 times read line, my file dot read line. So this is like optimizing code. So now let's see how we'll do this. Like we can write open, okay, file name and the format file name dot txt. Then we just simply write read. What this does is this read all at once into string, because these are all string. So let's write it. Let's write this, run this code. So this has printed both the lines single line. If there are hundreds, then it can write hundreds on one time. But this is not a user friendly display, because we are seeing like /n, which stands for new line. If I want to write print in a user friendly manner, so that display is user friendly, I just write print, then I write the same function and in print function. So print my file dot txt, then I write read. So you can see, like, and now the /n, it has moved to new line. Now this is second line, then it has moved to new line. Also we can do this using an iteration. Iteration are nothing but a kind of a loop, like for loop, while loop, or other kind of loop. So iterations, so we can use iterations also, like so in many cases iterations are best option, because you just don't want to print the line, you just need to perform some other function. So you should be aware with the iteration. So for iteration we'll write for line in open my file dot txt, I'll write print line, then we'll end up with blank. So if I run this, it has printed both the lines, and if in the for loop, if I want to perform some other function like print line into 2, so this how it has done. So many time iterations are also very important. Like other things that I can do is like perform these kind of operations. So this we have covered like tuples and files object types in Python, and we have seen how what kind of operations that can be done in like object types, file and tuples. So basically we just I just want to let you know a summary of all the object types that we have covered. So we have covered object types like number, strings, list, dictionary, tuple, files, and there are some other like sets, frozen sets, byte arrays. So summary is like few of the summary is like what category each object type is. So numbers are numeric category, string is a sequence, list is a sequence, dictionary is a mapping, tuple is a sequence, file is an extension, sets is a set, frozen set is a set, byte array is a sequence. So you know, like these string, list, tuples, byte arrays, these are all sequence. So all the operations that we have performed in sequence are applicable to all the sequence, like the operations that we saw in strings. Is since string is a sequence and list is also a sequence, the operations that we did in string are also applicable to list, like slicing and indexing that we did in string is also applicable to list. Same, list is also a sequence and tuple is also a sequence, so all the operations that we did in list, indexing, slicing, can also be possible in tuples. So this is one important point. And now like again, if I want to summarize, I can write like basically what all we have covered. Like these are comes under object type collections. So we have sequence and mapping and set. In sets we have set and frozen set. In mapping we have only dictionary. In sequences we have immutable and mutable sequences. So mutable sequences are string and tuple, and mutable is list. In numbers we have integer, and integer we have long or boolean. Then integer we have float, complex, decimal, fraction. Then in callables, what we can call, we have function, generator, class, method. Method can be bound or unbound. Then we have module, instance, file. So this is what we have covered. So we have covered basics, some of the operations, and what else we want to cover would be coming forward. So in the next video we'll be covering some of the like statements, syntax statements and their syntax. Then they will cover like for loop, while loop, and everything else. So stick to this channel, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification so you get the update notification for the next video. And for the so if you want to go back, so I also put the timestamps of this video in the description, so you can directly move. Like if you want to directly check out files, you can directly move to that. And also if you want to check for the previous video, like this is the day 3 video, if you want to check the day 1 video or day 2 video of this Python course, you can also find that link in the description. So subscribe to this channel so you get the notification, and use description to move back and forth in the video and in this Python course, and use the timestamp of this video to move inside the video. And that's how you can revise the previous concept so that you can master Python through this course. Thank you very much.